In the previous video segments, we've shown you how to set up your data, style your data. In this segment, we're going to show you how you can label your map to make it look attractive. So in our last video, we used a class break style to color all of the countries based upon various GDP values. So as we can see here, we've got a different color for each range of GDP increment. And we also colored the countries that didn't have any GDP data in gray to make them stand out a little bit. So now you've got a good looking map, but let's make it a little bit better by adding the country names. So you can do this a number of ways. Looking a little bit further ahead, I'm going to want to be able to control what my labels look like on this map. So for example, when I'm zoomed out to this level, maybe I just want to show the country name. But as I zoom in to more detail, I think I'm going to want to show the country name and also the actual GDP value. So to do that, I'm going to want to set up a new text style, or label style I should say. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to say add style, and I'm going to choose label. This will bring up the style builder again, and I'm just going to go with pretty much the defaults here. I'm going to do the country name, so I'm just going to say country name for the name of this label. Choose my column name, which is going to be country name again, and I'm going to just pick the standard fonts, and just to make it stand out a little better, I'm going to put a halo effect on it to give it a white border around there. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And you'll see now we've got a ton of different labels, and now this looks very bad because we've got every country labeled on the map and it's too much. So I'm going to come back in here and edit this, and I'm going to choose, go to placement and formatting, and I'm not going to allow it to overlap other labels for one. And then because we're dealing with area-based features, I'm going to only draw the labels that fit entirely within the area boundary. So if the label fits in there, only label. So that'll get rid of a bunch of the labels, because at this zoom level, many countries aren't very big, and it won't draw inside of it correctly. So this is looking much better. You can see a lot of the larger countries are labeled at least by landmass, and the map looks a little bit nicer. So currently I have these showing from zoom levels 1 to 25, so for all ranges. However, I want to, and if I zoom in, you'll see other countries start to show up as they get bigger to support that name. One other thing just looking here is it looks like my halo is maybe a bit strong, so I'm going to back that off a little bit by coming in here and just adjusting that to a width of 2 instead of 3. And I think that'll give it a more appealing effect. Now I'm going to, I want to, once I zoom in, to say maybe zoom level, I don't know, 5 or 6 or greater. I think I'd also like to start showing the dollar amounts in GDP underneath the country name. So to do this, I'm going to pop back open the style builder here, and I'm going to change this to only be to zoom level, let's say 5. So now you can see I'm at zoom level 6, my labels disappear, but when I go back out to zoom level 5, they reappear. So this is how you do scale management in the GIS editor. So one other trick to know is when you're looking at your layer list, the ones that are bolded are the current styles being used. So you can see that because our labels only went from 1 to 5, now we're at zoom level 6, this one has become unbolded, and this is the only style being used. So now I want to set up my labels from 6 to 25 to show both the country name and also the GDP amount in dollar values. So to do that, I'm going to come back up here again. I'm going to say add a new label, and I'm going to choose from zoom level 6 this time to zoom level 25, and instead of just doing the country name, I'm going to want to do a multiple column label. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to choose country name, and I'm going to insert the 2011 GDP, and I'm going to hit apply. And you can see, well, now we have some labels on there, and we've got the different or the GDP amount along with it, but it's not exactly what I was wanting. I kind of want these to be stacked on top of each other. I want my halo there, and I want to format these as dollar values. So I'm going to come back in here and do some more tweaking. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a halo here, and I'm going to put our 2. Now for my formatting, because I'm doing custom multiple column labels and I've got 2 different types of columns here, I'm not able to do my numeric formatting for the dollar values. So this presents me with a problem. So what I'm going to have to do is come back over here and just go back to a basic label, and I'm going to use my country name again, and I'm going to apply that. And you can see now that those have been applied, and I'm going to add another label style here, and this one I'm going to choose the 2011 GDP, and I'm going to come back over and do the formatting of it to be currency and apply it as well. So now you can see I do have the currency, but it's over the top of my existing label. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a what would it be, a Y offset of 15 pixels, and apply that. You can see that puts it above, so I actually want to put it below, so I'm going to give it a -15. And I'm going to come back up here and give this one a halo as well, and apply both of these filters, so changes. So now you can see I have my countries labeled. When I zoom in to zoom level 6, the dollar amount starts showing up. Now if I get in places like this again, I have too much clutter, so maybe I should go back into this and change these as well to not allow duplicates, and to also only draw labels that fit in the various polygons. So I'm going to do that and apply and hit OK. Okay, this is all looking great except for one thing. I've noticed that the countries that don't have any data are actually putting $0 there. Well, that's not exactly what I want to do. For those, I would rather just label the country name and put no data instead of $0, because it's a little misleading, because they're not actually 0, just nothing was reported. So I'm going to come back in to our labels for that, and I'm going to use a filter style for the labels to accomplish this. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new filter label style, and I'm going to add a condition to say where the GDP is greater than 0, and save that. And in those cases, I'm going to rename this country name just so I can keep it straight, and rename this one GDP value. Okay, now I'm going to drag these into this filter style, and I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm just going to name this country labels with GDP and apply that accordingly. And now you can see I've got the labels for the countries, but only the ones that have GDP once I zoom in. So let's say I want to take it a little bit further here, and I want to just label these with the country name and put no data underneath them. So I can do that as well by just adding another filter style here for this zoom level set, and actually I'm going to drag this up above it. Let's remove it, and let's click on this level and say add filter label style. And I'm going to add another filter condition for GDP equal to 0. And when that's the case, I'm going to say country labels with no data. And I'm going to duplicate this exact style and drag it up into that filter style. And then I'm going to remove this one. So now we've still labeled the country so you can see what it is, but there won't be any dollar amount on it. So now I've set up fairly complex labeling to where you're zoomed out, you're only showing the countries if the label will fit in there. And of course, if you want to adjust these so more show up, you can adjust the size down accordingly. So if we use 8, hit apply, you'll see more countries fall in, or you can even go down lower if you'd like to, like 7, and do that as well. And you may want to adjust your halo again, depending upon your font size. So if we go to 1, what will that look like? And just play with these settings, because you can really make some nice looking maps by doing different fonts and things of that nature. Okay, so now that we've got our map labeled, and you can see once we zoom in further, you can have the dollar amounts are formatted correctly. They're placed directly under the labeling. So this is a pretty good result for using an automated labeler. Not having to do a lot of work of dragging labels or manual. So I hope this video tutorial has been helpful. In our next video segment, we'll show you how to add a legend to your map and also how to print it. Thank you.